Dear chairs, dear audience, I'd like to present you my thesis titled New Insights into the Accuracy of Fixed Dentures. Many restorations still exhibit variability in accuracy, which can compromise their long-term success. It is essential to clarify whether chairside milling machines can reach the accuracy of the lab-side systems, especially with the rise of same-day dentistry. Our results showed statistically significant, although clinically not relevant, differences, indicating that the chairside milling can be equally good as the lab-side systems. But future studies should focus on comparing more milling systems, materials and workflows, and also investigate how the accuracy influences the clinical outcomes. And policymakers should encourage the adoption of validated digital dental workflows. So my name is Mirjam Kisgergely, and I'm a resident and PhD student at the Department of Prosthodontics at Semmelweis University. My vision is to provide longer-lasting dental restorations to patients, and my mission is to explore the ways to produce more accurate fixed dental prostheses. Currently, I have 2 ongoing projects, and my main goal is to compare different dental milling machines. The title of my first project is Comparing the Accuracy of Dental Milling Machines in Fabricating Fixed Dentures, which is a systematic review and meta-analysis. There was a study in 2007 in which they found that 94% of crowns had poor marginal fit, which is predisposing to failure. This means that 94% of these teeth restored with crowns are more prone to develop, for example, caries or periodontal diseases, which with time can lead to tooth loss and eventually even edentulousness. When we want to make dental restorations, we also always have to consider quite a few aspects, and one of the most important is accuracy. We always have to determine the appropriate dimensions of a prosthesis to be able to make long-lasting ones. And this clinically accepted accuracy is 100 micrometers. So how can we make these crowns? In an annual report of 2013, we can see that 75 to 80% of crowns were still made manually, and only the rest were made by computer-aided production. The problem with this is that these handmade crowns mean a slower production. It is unrepeatable because they are designed by the dental technicians, and this can lead to human risk factors such as inaccuracy. So what is our other option? Is the computer-aided design and manufacturing. It ensures a faster production. It is repeatable because all the data is stored on computers, and it is also accurate. The CAD/CAM production can be divided into 2 subgroups. One is the in-lab, which means that we still have to send the work to the dental technicians. Therefore, it requires multiple dental appointments, but it is considered accurate. The other one is the so-called chairside, which means that everything happens at the dental clinic. And it also allows us the concept of same-day dentistry, which means that the patients come in and can leave on the same day with the final restoration. But the question arises whether this fast production can result in accurate restorations. Therefore, our aim is to compare the accuracy of dental milling machines in fabricating fixed dentures. Our clinical question is that how accurate the chairside milling machines are in fabricating fixed dentures. And we use the PICO framework, where our population is milled single-unit restorations. Our intervention is different chairside milling machines, and we compared them to different lab-side ones, and the outcome is accuracy. And our hypothesis is that chairside milling machines can produce fixed restorations as accurate as the lab-side milling machines. Here you can see the flowchart of our article selection. At the end of the full text selection and after the citation chasing, I had 207 eligible papers in total. The figures and tables are on the way, and in the meantime, I'm focusing on finishing my second project. Jumping to that, the title of my second project is Comparing the Accuracy of Dental Milling Machines in Fabricating Crowns, which is an in vitro study. During our everyday practice as dentists, when we want to make restorations for the patients who come in to us, usually we have to make temporary restorations before the final one. Why is that? Other dental treatments are sometimes needed, or aesthetic problems can occur if the front region is affected, or the chewing function needs to be restored. One of the most important factors is that even the temporary restoration needs to be accurate for long-term success. And as I've mentioned before, when we want to make restorations digitally, we have two ways, the chair-side milling and the lap-side milling. The advantage of the chair-side is that the restoration can be ready almost immediately, while for the lap-side one, we have to wait approximately a week. The problem is that we do not know for sure whether this, the simpler software or the fast production of the chair-side systems allow us to fabricate restorations that are the same as the original design, thus being accurate. Therefore, our aim is to observe the marginal and internal surface accuracy of the lap-side and the chair-side milled restorations. Our clinical question is that how accurate these chair-side milling machines are in fabricating the crowns, and we use the PICO framework where our population is the milled crowns, and we compared a chair-side and the lap-side milling machine. Our hypothesis is that the chair-side milling machine can produce these crowns as accurately as the lap-side milling machine. And here you can see that the method of this study starts with the virtually designed restoration of an upper central incisor. We send this data to the chair-side and the lap-side milling machine and milled the crowns with each. After the fabrication was done, we've got these crowns you can see in the pictures. And as an evaluation, we've digitalized the crowns with an intraoral scanner, and we used the method of superimposition to check their accuracy compared to the original design. And here you can see the outcome, which is the accuracy. It has two main components. One is trueness, which means that we project the STLs of the group's elements onto the reference one by one, and the program will give us the difference for each. And we also have precision, which includes measurements within a group. And as a result, the program gave us values such as root mean square, standard deviation, or average. Looking at the figure, you can see the root mean square trueness results for the Primel and the MCX5. Each bar represents the number of crowns that fell within the same RMS deviation range compared to the original design. And the Primel shows a slightly broader spread of values, while the MCX5 appears a bit more clustered. When we analyze these distributions statistically, the difference between the two machines reached significance with the p-value of 0.001. However, even though this difference was statistically significant, all the values fall well within the clinically acceptable limits. Therefore, we can say that, looking at this figure, that both milling machines produce crowns with similar trueness, and it supports our overall conclusion that the chair-side milling machine can match the accuracy of the lap-side system. And here you can see the precision results for the two milling machines. Here, each bar represents the number of repeated measurements that fell within the same RMS deviation range. And here the MCX5 appeared to have a slightly broader spread of values. And this also showed statistical significance with a p-value less than 0.001. But as in the case of trueness, even though this difference was statistically significant, the magnitude of the variation is still very small and falls within the clinically acceptable limits. And we can say that both machines are highly precise, and the chair-side milling machine is comparable to the lap-side one in accuracy. So currently I'm at the phase of almost finishing the manuscript writing, and I plan to submit it at the beginning of February. And in summary, I have 2 ongoing projects, and I plan to submit both of them in the spring of 2026. And at the end of my presentation, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Carl Sagan that somewhere something incredible is waiting to be known. Thank you for your kind attention.
Congratulations, Mirjam. It was very nice and exciting to hear the result of this.
Thank you.
My question is, you said that the accepted accuracy is about 100 micrometer. What parameter exactly is this? Internal fit or the marginal fit?
It was the marginal one. We've found this in the glossary of prosthodontic terms, but I don't know whether there is a more updated point of view according to this. I'm always trying to look into that, so to be up to date.
I think it's good to specify possibly where.
It was listed as a resource.
And the other question is, when you are comparing in this second project the crowns, then when milling, was the cement space set to the same parameter in each of the settings?
Yes, based on our experiences during the data extraction for the first project, we've seen that there are a ton of variables in this topic: the material, the type of restoration, the tooth that we want to prepare. So there are lots of different types of variables, and we've paid attention to the cement space as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you, Mirjam. It was a great presentation, and you look very good. Congratulations for that. So my question is regarding your first project that you mentioned that you wait for the figures, but did you make some subgroups based on the 3, 4, 5 axis milling machines, or based on the material and those variables you mentioned before?
Yes, we've made, and we had to make like categories because there were too much variables to consider. So, for example, for the tooth that I mentioned, we had to categorize them as front teeth and premolars and molars, so not specified like middle incise, upper middle incisor, and so on. So yes, we had to make like categories and not just only subgroups, as in the axis you mentioned, but yes, we paid attention to the axis as well. The problem was that not in all of the articles they were specified, so we only could use the information that was given to us, so it made it quite difficult.
Yes, thank you. And I have another question. So in the lab side, a technician designs the restoration.
Yes.
And during the chairside process, someone has to design it. What do you think, how much does it influence the accuracy if a dentist design an inlay or a crown? Is it significantly better or worse? What do you think, how much training a dentist needs to make a good restoration?
Thank you for the question. And it's a really good question, in my opinion, because it really depends on the practice you have. So if you're more trained in the digital area and you know the clinical situation, a dentist can be, I don't know, even better than a technician, because we can see what's in the mouth, what is the situation. But if the technician is more trained in the area of designing, maybe they can be better. So it really depends on who use these softwares more, I think.